Movies today, they just don't make them like they used to. I miss the days when watching a movie was a 90-minute escape and you came out of the cinema feeling refreshed with an improved outlook on life and the world in general. The proverbial good old days. Fast forward to the present day and let's just say things have changed. It's often said that art imitates life. And if that's true, then modern movies need to look for inspiration someplace else. And that brings us to you people. Not you people watching this review, but the movie, You People.
You serious?
As it happens, I am. Now, first off, this was a painful watch. I cannot stress that enough. I've had migraines that were more enjoyable than this. So why would I do this to myself? You may be wondering. So that you don't have to.
Comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
On to the premise. Awkward boy played by Jonah Hill meets sassy girl played by Lauren London. Awkward boy and sassy girl inexplicably start dating. Awkward boy's parents, played by David Duchovny and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, are crazy and apparently racist, whilst sassy girl's parents, played by Nia Long and Eddie Murphy, are apparently racist and probably crazy. Awkward boy and crazy girl obviously break up because of their definitely crazy and apparently racist parents. Awkward boy and sassy girl then get back together because of their now not so crazy and not so racist parents. And that's the plot in a nutshell. I'm not kidding. As predictable as the rising and setting of the sun, which is in and of itself not entirely a bad thing. Think about it. People like to know what they are getting before they invest their irredeemable time into watching a movie, not to mention their hard-earned dollars. So, it really boils down to the delivery. And boy, did they fail to deliver.
Or not? Oh!
After that glowing introduction, you may be wondering what I liked about the movie. And in 2 words, not much. Outside of a catchy title and a well-crafted trailer, I wasn't impressed. And I'm grasping at straws here. The only consolation is that it is on Netflix, so I didn't have to shell out any more than my monthly subscription to watch it. And now for the fun part. What didn't I like about this movie? Well, first of all, that's 2 hours of my life that I will never get back. Yet here I am, wasting away what precious little moments I have on this planet, talking about how I wasted time watching this movie. On with it. Jonah Hill, our esteemed awkward boy, is a decent actor, but he is no Kevin James. He won't have you rolling in stitches just by seeing him rock up in a scene. On to our leading lady, Lauren London. Wow, that's an alliteration for you, leading lady Lauren London. She is no Monique, and her acting creds are non-existent and dubious at best. The couple has no chemistry. They're as alike as the proverbial chalk and cheese. In real life, there are many couples that on the face of it do not look like they have anything in common, but in reality they actually do, and that's quite normal, in fact. In this movie, however, they don't do a good job of showing us the X factor that brings these two unlikely lovebirds together. From the trailer, I got the sense that this was going to be a romantic comedy, but there was no romance and no comedy. I failed to laugh even once the entire movie. And I expected so much from this movie. With such a strong cast like Eddie Murphy with his long and rich experience of great comedic movies, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus as well. On second thought, I shouldn't really be surprised by Eddie Murphy. At least he's being consistent. The sequel to Coming to America gives You People a run for its money. And it's close. Photo finish stuff. For all intents and purposes, You People is a remake of the 2005 classic movie Guess Who, starring Ashton Kutcher, Bernie Mac, and Zoe Saldana. Remember those days when comedies were still funny? I do. Now, Guess Who was a decent flick, a great movie, especially when compared to You People. And partly because it captured the moods and attitudes of the times. It's the same concept or similar concept, but where it differs is that the cast was not only strong, but they were naturally funny. Zoe Saldana was the only one from the main cast who could arguably be said not to be a born comedian. Mac and Ashton Kutcher carried the picture with their future father-in-law, future son-in-law dynamic. Mixed race couples are not as rare as they used to be 20 years ago. You could even say they are a thing in these days. With that backdrop, you people had an opportunity to bring out the humor of the challenges and obstacles mixed race families have to overcome. Instead, it fell flat on its face. It's riddled with feminist undertones and a mishmash of over-the-top racial parodies that are just not relatable.
Yeah, that's not funny.
I know, right? One of many examples of their over-the-top scenes is where Awkward Boy invites his future crazy, apparently racist in-laws to lunch and goes off on a weird monologue that is supposed to be awkward and unintentionally racist, and it's supposed to be somehow funny. It was painful to watch, and at best it was just inappropriate. I didn't know if I was watching a comedy or a bad reality show. In another example, dinner with the parents from both families turned out to be a victimhood competition between the two racial groups. I have no problems with comedies broaching serious topics, as long as they remember it's a comedy and their points are better made when cloaked in humor. We can all prattle on about whose ancestors had it worse in the past, but where does that really get us, you people? The worst thing about the scene is that the funniest people in the cast were at the center of it and failed to elicit a smile, let alone a chuckle. I'm looking at you, Eddie Murphy and Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Nothing to see here, please!
Watching this movie, I found myself asking quite a lot of questions that never got answered. Like, why didn't the lesbian best friend of Awkward Boy meet his fiancée? 20 minutes before the credits at the engagement party, they were in the same room, but we never actually saw them meet. And why also was the uncle only showing up 20 minutes before the credits, and again he had so much to say as if he had been there throughout the entire movie? We didn't see him. And most importantly, who was this movie made for? I mean, seriously, who is meant to watch this?
Good question. You are a good question. Next.
Seriously though, I could go on and on complaining about this insignificant addition to our modern entertainment culture. But as I'm sure you've gathered, that's just not my style.
Tell me that was a joke.
And now to my favorite part. Overall rating out of 5. And the truth is,
You can't handle the truth.
be that as it may, I give you people 1 star.
Did not see that coming.
And yet I think I'm still being generous. Make that half a star. And that's only because it's technically what you would call a movie. This was all hype and no end product. But those are just my thoughts. So tell me what you think. Am I being harsh or do you agree with me? And until next time,